Hi guys, Adam McCauley here. I'm with Stephen Howson. We're outside Old Trafford, absolutely freezing, and it was 1-1. So 2 reasons to be disappointed. Steve, what did you make of that?
It was shite, wasn't it? It was shite though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Was it really shit today, do you think, or were we unlucky?
No, well, both. Jess could have made it 1-0 in 15 seconds, whatever it was. Yeah. Probably should have made it 1-0.
He was in front of him, he takes it first time, scores. He should have got it on target though still.
Yeah, he should have hit the target. No one's
what a birthday for him. Doesn't score that, and then Daniel James smashes one in his face.
Yeah, I don't know where it hit him, but he's got a sore ear this morning, on the morning, I think. He should have scored, Marcus could have scored, James could have scored, Marcus should have scored from a free kick, and then they score. And that's just like how it's been for us for the last few years.
We did invite it from them though, didn't we, at that point? But it was 5 minutes where we just kept giving them the ball back.
Well, yeah, it was well sloppy, wasn't it? I mean, like sometimes it counts for a Peter Kay style, hit it in Rose Ed, have it sort of thingy, and we didn't do that. Funny that there's been so much debate all week about whether right-footed left-backs are any good, apart from Maldini and Dennis Irwin being probably the 2 right-footed left-backs that's ever walked the fence.
Maldini didn't play left-back. I've only winded you up. I've seen you arguing with people about that all week on Twitter. What do you, we'll talk about what.
Move that. But like a lot of people saying like right-footed left-backs don't work. Well, if we'd have had a right-footed left-back, he wouldn't have played Tom Davies in for them to win the next corner. And then the corner was just an absolute comedy of errors. You can say it was a foul. You can say Lindelof should have done better. Just a total team fuck-up. And loads of people are going to blame Ollie for that. You've got to look at the players. You've got to look at the players, Jesse, Marcus, James, and whoever the fuck the other one was, that probably should have took their chances. You've got to look at them, and you've got to look at the lads at the back. You know, De Gea went down injured before that as well. Should have took as long as he needed to get right, because there was times that you're like, he's actually fucked up here. Like,
yeah, I thought he was going to get substituted.
Yeah, take a bit of time and sort yourself out otherwise, because is that why he didn't come and claim the ball? Because if it was, then he should have said, shouldn't he, so we could have Romero on and we'd definitely got a clean sheet.
Is that an issue with De Gea? Because there was a goal for Otamendi as well where he went back, stopped. Should he be commanding his 6-yard box a little bit more at corner?
That's his weakness, isn't it? That and like long kicking distribution. That's his weakness. He's the best shot stopper the world's ever seen, apart from Sergio Romero. But like, that's his weakness, and that's maybe something you have to live with unless you want a perfect goalkeeper. I mean, I've heard loads of people going, knew that was going to happen. Well, I actually didn't think it was going to happen. I thought because they was going to come and play, they played 4-4-2. They didn't sit off us. They didn't park the bus. What they actually did was press us, and they pressed us, and they forced us to. I mean, if you notice, they really targeted our fullbacks when they was on the ball. They properly pressed them, and they properly pressed our midfield and our defence, and they just absolutely stopped us playing the ball through the middle. We're shit at that anyway, and they just eliminated it. What we probably should have done at that point was go long, but when you go long, unless you're putting it long into a channel for them to chase, which they definitely can do, you're asking Marcus and James to hold the ball up, and that's not a good idea. So they did us.
What did you make of Martial's performance today? Because I was quietly pleased at times with his movement and his distribution and his bringing others into play. But then you look at it and you think, he didn't really have a shot or a chance today.
I thought there was at times where you just go, your close control is illegal. It's too good.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely too good. But he probably has 1 or 2 extra touches where you almost can look at him and the way he's playing in this team and see the evolution of the team, what it's going to be like if we get a number 9 that's able to bring the others in play properly.
Because there's been a lot of talk about Haaland and should we get another number 9. Isn't that the exact evidence of why we need more players in those positions?
Not just that, and not even just starting. Again, we have to turn to an 18-year-old to try and save the day, and he almost did.
He's not a bad 18-year-old, though, is he?
He's not a bad 18-year-old, but there shouldn't be the pressure on that 18-year-old to do that.
Pressure? What pressure?
Or there should be at least be another one, because you're looking at him, you're like, right, we've played Mason. Now fucking what? You bring in Juan Mata on, who we'll all agree, as much as he's a good player and he's a brilliant technical footballer, he's not going to change a game for you, is he? He's not bringing Tevez on or something like that, is it? Like, we haven't got any firepower to bring on the bench. And the fact that we even played the same team as City, I was a bit pissed off in that in the first place, because I'm like, tactically, how are Everton the same as City? How can you have the same blueprint? Now, I know the obvious replies are going to be like, Liverpool play the same team week in, week out. Cool. They're fucking playing mint at the moment, and they've got a system that's working for them. Let's not delude ourselves into thinking that we've got that, because we don't. And we actually have to line up differently for different opposition. And maybe that's a little bit on the manager. Maybe that's a little bit on the players, as I was saying earlier, where they've got to go and do what they've got to do, because the chances were created. and we look quite solid defending them. It's just lapses of concentration, which it's been time and time again this season, and not being clinical enough at the other end, apart from Mason, who was well clinical.
Well, we're clearly all disappointed about the points dropped, about the result, about not taking chances, whether that's bad luck or bad play. How are we feeling about Ollie? Because 2 weeks ago, I was shitting it, you were shitting it. I thought he was going to be sacked by Christmas. He's probably not going to be sacked by Christmas now, looks like. But how are you feeling? You seeing signs of improvement? You seeing signs of we're getting towards what Ollie wants?
Yeah, now, as mental as this sounds, for the way we play, it's actually easier for us to play against the bigger teams because we can go quite direct and we can use our assets. And our assets are fucking rapid players in the final third. We get the ball into them and we cause havoc with people. When we come up against a smaller team, that's where your individual flair needs to be taken on. That's where having Paul Pogba take the game.
Is this when we miss it?
Maybe it's having, one of the lads here just said, if Paul Scholes played today and nothing else was different, peak Paul Scholes, do we win that game? And I think we do, because there's no one that's got that pass from the number 6 position into the feet of a forward. How many times do we go around the outsides?
There was twice where McTominay pulled out pure vintage Scholes passes for fan Daniel James, and then there was other times where he just looked like Cleberson.
Well, Dan James, when I seen the replay, actually, it was such a tight angle, but again, you got to ask him to hit the target. And the other one, I think Marcus went through and dragged it to the left and hit it with his left, I think. So those are ones where you go, lads, you've got to hit the target. That's all you've got to do, and it's on the keeper then, isn't it?
How do you feel about Daniel James? He's clearly works hard, puts everything into every game. We see sometimes his balls into the box can be good, other times not so. Where should he be is he a player that we could improve on and replace in the starting lineup, and should he be a back? Where does he fit into?
I think he's took to being a Manchester United player brilliant, considering the circumstances of his father passing away at the time of him signing. The way he took that in his stride, hats off, total respect for that. When he first came, there was massive question marks, and I think they were legitimate, about the quality of his delivery. He was getting into great positions and not doing it. Then he hit a purple patch where actually he was delivering. He was scoring goals and he was creating goals as well. And I think we saw what the potential of him could be there. But he's not going to be like a master key. He's not going to be the right tool for every single job. And this is what my issue with picking the same 11 is. Sometimes you have to play a different card. Sometimes you have to play something else. Fundamentally, United can't play anything else because we're literally playing all we've got. What's the other options? Play Andres Pereira on the right.
I agree with you there. I think especially these games where defences are happy. They weren't sitting back today, but they were happy to let us play in front of them. He hasn't got that bit of trickery to beat someone and get beyond them, and he needs the pass. And if Pogba's not playing, like you said, or a Scholes, they haven't got them passes.
Let me give you this as a different option. Let's say Haaland started that game instead of Marshall, and Sancho started that game instead of James. And let's say it was 1-1 going into the last 20 minutes, and you could bring on Marshall, you could bring on James. Does that not feel different? Does that not feel like you're able to bring firepower off the bench? Does that not feel like...
Or even if you start Marshall and then you need someone to go more direct to, you bring on a Haaland.
Yeah.
Changes things up.
Does it not?
That's how I squeeze
like
Marshall into the starting lineup.
But do you know, I think Dan James is going to be an absolute terror off the bench.
Yeah.
And it's probably games where he definitely should start. Like the derby was definitely one of them. His pace is going to be an asset. He's going to tear him to pieces. But games, and again, this isn't necessarily that game against Everton where they're probably being a bit physical, and they definitely were being physical with the fouls today. Or you're probably not going to have the space to run in behind, or they're pressing us as high as they did, and we're not able to put the balls in behind for you, apart from once. Once isn't really using him, is it, to his best asset? That's maybe when we have to have someone else. That's maybe when we have to have someone who's going to have a bit of trickery that can beat a player. That's maybe where a Sancho or somebody of that ilk could come in. I mean, obviously those are the ones that we're linked to at the moment. So,
2 quick questions. Man of the match.
Wan-Bissaka.
Is top 4? Is it possible? I'm not going to say is it still on, because mathematically it's always still on, but is it possible?
Yeah, I thought we were taking that step to 2 points today. It's probably going to be about as much as who's the least shit out of everyone, because we're all a bit shit. It's who's going to be like who can put some consistency together. Can it be Spurs? Because did that end up a draw?
I'm not sure. Who won?
Spurs won.
Bastards.
Are they ahead of us now?
Yeah, imagine so.
Mint. So, I mean, you've got Wolves who are technically breathing down our neck. You've got Spurs who are going to breathe down.
Sheffield United.
No,
Don't forget it. Cheers, Steve.
I ain't fucking finished.
Go on,
I ain't fucking leaving. And yeah, you obviously got Chelsea. You know, they've put the points on the board so far. Can they maintain what they've started this season? We're going to find out, aren't we? I think it's going to go to the wire. I don't think you can write any of us, including us, out of this yet. Because if we, let's say we managed to pull off the impossible and brought in a striker, even if it's a Mandzukic, and somebody like a Sancho in January, people are going to sit up and take notice. But it's a midfielder that we need. Or maybe even the one that we've got coming back and deciding he wants to play for us.
Cheers, man.